Podcast Show. I'm your host, Rich Wall Street Williams, and the Motivate Podcast Show. We always say less, and we definitely want to believe for more. Hey, listen, first of all, let me just say, let me just do a quick shout out to everyone that has caused this YouTube channel to be successful. You know, we've grown to almost 400 subscribers in a very short period of time. And I got to tell you, I am personally thankful and I'm grateful for you. I'm personally thankful and grateful for everyone that hit that like button, that share, that subscribe button, and also hit the bell for notifications so that we post content. And I am intentional about posting content every single week. You know, this is the month of May, and the month of May is mental health awareness, right? And so we're going to spend a week or two talking about having conversations about mental health. I've invited some friends that are mental health experts to be on this show. Hopefully we can get them on very soon. But I want to lead today with this thought that I had a few weeks ago. And the thought is this: we're holding other people accountable, right? We're holding other people accountable for our thinking while simultaneously denying ourselves a promotion, raises, and our own success. Let me say it again. We are holding other people accountable for our thinking while simultaneously denying ourselves a promotion, raises, and our own success. What does that mean? And basically what that means to me is this: I am blaming other people for my life. Here's the reality, friend. Whatever is presently in my life is the result of how I thought, felt, and consistently act. Whatever is presently in my life today, it is there because of the way that I thought, felt, and consistently act. The way that I thought, felt, and consistently act. It's there, man. So I have to investigate the way that I'm thinking. I take a look at it, friend. I can no longer dismiss a behavior that's counterproductive to where I'm going and who I want to be. I can no longer be casual about mediocrity. I can no longer accept average. I can no longer accept ordinary if I plan to live a successful, thriving life. We're holding other people accountable for our thinking while simultaneously denying ourselves a promotions, raises, and our own success. So for the next week or two, we want to take a closer look at why do we think the way that we think, because thinking matters. The way that you and I think, it matters. If I hold it in my head long enough, eventually I'll hold it in my hand. If I hold it in my head long enough, eventually I'll hold it in my hand. A few weeks ago on another broadcast, I shared a statement, and that statement is that expectations are hidden in the rhythm of our thinking. Our expectations are hidden in the rhythm of our thinking. Our expectations are hidden in the rhythm of our thinking. Listen, mental health experts have proven that we think between 60 to 70,000 thoughts a day. Rich didn't say this, mental health experts, those that are experts, therapists, psychologists, they all agree that we process somewhere in the neighborhood of 60, 70,000 thoughts a day. Here's a powerful thing about that. 90% of those thoughts are automatic. So if there are 70,000 thoughts and 90% of those thoughts are automatic, that means that 7,000 thoughts are not automatic. So I want to know, in the arena of the 7,000 thought, what can I do to improve the way that I think? Here's a test. Go take a look in the mirror and ask yourself this question. Do I like the person that I see in the mirror? Do I like that person? Yes or no? If the answer is no, the next question is, what do I have to say or do to be the person that I like, that I want to see in the mirror? Now, I am not suggesting that the image that you have of yourself, and we're bombarded in the media bombards us what a perfect woman should look like, what a perfect man should look like, the media bombards our psyche. And friend, whatever we hold in our head, eventually we're holding in our hand. If we're not careful, outside stimuli, outside information, we will internalize it, and we'll take that outside information and make it inside revelation for us and live a life based upon information that we never, ever investigated. Does that make sense? So we're holding other people accountable for our thinking while simultaneously denying ourselves a promotion, raises, and our own success. So I have to look at the way that we think. I discovered that our expectations are hidden in the rhythm of our thinking. Our expectations are hidden in the rhythm of our thinking. So what does that mean? So let's unpack that a little bit. So let's pretend we're in a live audience, right? And let's pretend there are 1,000 people. So I'm speaking to 1,000 people, and I usually do this in a live arena. There are 1,000 people in the audience, and I'm asking the question. So I would ask the question, how many of you want to win? And the lottery is 500 million as an example. I would say, how many of you would want to win $500 million? Almost always 100% participation. People want or would like to win $500 million. The next second question then is, how many of you went out and purchased a ticket? 1,000 people in the audience, almost always 1, 2, or maybe as high as 3% will raise their hand. Wait a minute, 1,000 people in the audience, 100% said, yes, I would like to win $500 million. How many went out and purchased a ticket? 10, 20, or maybe 30 people went out and purchased a ticket. What's the point, Rich? The point is this. Although there were 500 people who wanted to win, who would like to win, 10, 20, or 30 people went out and purchased a ticket. What people want and what people expect are two different things. How people act when they want something and how people act when they expect something, two different behaviors. So I've discovered and I have concluded that we don't get what we want in life, we get what we expect in life. And so I started to pay attention to whatever internal expectations I have about myself, what are the internal expectations I have for my relationship with my wife? What are the internal expectations I have with my church? What are the internal expectations I have with my family, friends, my community, my neighbors, etc.? All of these things, these expectations, I realize that I'm not getting what I want, I'm getting what I expect. If I expect people to do me wrong, eventually what's going to happen? People are going to do me wrong. You ever hear people say this? I knew this was going to happen. They said, I knew this was going to happen. They said, I knew this was going to happen. I knew this was going to happen. You know what they were admitting? They had an expectation of it happening. So we don't get what we want in life, we get what we expect. And so with that being said, if I'm holding someone accountable for my thinking, if I'm holding someone accountable for my thinking, maybe my parents didn't think the best thoughts. Maybe my parents didn't provide the best environment for me. And I'm holding them accountable for the way that I handle money and relationships today. Now, listen, don't get me wrong. 65% of who we are, we inherited from our parents. Roughly 60% of who we are, we inherited from our parents. Like, for example, myself, I don't like onions. And so one day I'm talking to my mom on the phone. This is maybe 10, 12 years ago. I'm talking to my mom on the phone and I'm telling her that my wife is preparing, making some potato salad. My wife loves onions in her potato salad, but she knows that I don't like onions. So she'll make potato salad with onions, and then she'll make potato salad without onions. And so I'm talking to my mom and sharing with her how my wife is making two different dishes, one with onions, one without. She said, you know what? My mom said, I did the exact same thing with your dad. He didn't like onions either. Now, I never knew. And at that time, I was 30s. I don't know, maybe it was older. I was 40 some years old at that time. I'm 58 now, but at the time I was 40 some years old. I'm gonna have this conversation with my mom, And my mom tells me, yeah, I did the exact same thing with my dad. I didn't know that my dad didn't like onions. What's the point? The point is that there was a certain posture, dispensation, mindset, behavior that I inherited from my father and I didn't know it. So I went out and tried onions because I found out that I didn't like onions for no reason. I went out and tried onions and the research is in. I still don't like onions. I still don't. As a matter of fact, I don't like people that like onions. No, I'm just playing. I'm having fun. I'm having fun. So we got to interrogate the way that we think. We have to be intentional. I look in the mirror. If I don't like the person that I see in the mirror, why don't I like that person in the mirror? What would I like to see in the mirror? What do I want that person to look like? Right. So these are questions that I got to ask myself as it relates to myself, my personal development. I hope I'm making sense here. I hope I'm making sense. So I can no longer rest at holding someone else accountable for the way that I think. Because by doing that, I am simultaneously denying myself of my own promotion, raises, and my own success. Listen, I don't ask people to give me a chance. I've learned long ago not to ask a person to give me a chance. Why, Rich? I'm glad you asked. The reason why I don't ask another person to give me a chance is because I see myself, to me, it's implied that you have all of my chances to succeed. And let me tell you something, friend, no one has all of your success, your opportunities to succeed. Now, I know you're working a job and you're looking forward to getting that promotion. You're looking forward to getting that raise, right? So you do the things that you need to do. You meet with your boss and he or she then will give you your evaluation. At the end of that valuation, typically there's a promotion and or there's a raise. But what if you're on the job and you're not getting a raise? You're being overlooked for promotion. Should I become disgruntled and bitter? No, I'll tell you what I would do. I'm going to look at why I'm being looked over. And while at the same time, I'm finding opportunities and places that value what I bring to the market. See, this is just Rich. Because I investigate how I think. I'm looking at the thoughts that I think. I realized that I used to professionally, I used to wanted to be a person of importance. I wanted to have a nameplate on the desk. I wanted to have my name on a door. I wanted, right? I found myself being pigeonholed into believing or thinking that I wanted to be a person of importance. But here's what I discovered. I discovered that if I would focus on becoming a person of value, when you become a person that others perceive as a person of value, you will automatically get invited into certain rooms and will be invited to be a part of certain conversations by simply focusing in on becoming a person of value. So becoming a person of value now requires me to read books, to get information, to put myself in different environments, to learn and experience different cultures, etc. Because what I know isn't all that there is to know. I hope this is making sense. So for the next week or two, we're going to be looking at why we think the way that we think. Why do we think the way that we think? We're going to investigate and challenge our thinking because we don't get what we want in life. We get what we expect in life. And it's time for you and I to have a deep dive conversation to look at our own internal expectations. Right? Hey, friend, I appreciate you taking some time to be on with me. I'm Rich Wall Street Williams from the Motivated Podcast Show. Hey, man, make sure you hit that like, subscribe, and get that notification. On the Motivated Podcast Show, we always say less, but we definitely want to believe some more. Let's get it.